Excavation Profits Podcast by Excavation Marketing Pros. Interviews with successful excavation and septic business owners, revealing how they market and grow their business in today's economy. Hear directly from the most successful leaders in your business and discover what they're doing to keep their phone ringing, equipment running, and businesses booming. Now your host, Scott Andreessen.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Scott with the Excavation Profits Podcast, and I want to thank you for joining us today. We have a very special guest with us, founder, the creative genius behind IDigBest, Phil Paul. How are you doing, Phil?
I'm good. How are you doing? It's nice to be on the show.
Awesome. Glad to hear that. So I was really intrigued by this and wanted to invite you on because you're all about precision, things to create more efficiency with digging. This also helps boost the bottom line. And so for those who don't know you, can you kind of share a background of who you are and IDigBest, what that is?
Yeah, when I was 23, I was actually supposed to start buying into an excavating company, but I went off on my own. By the time I hit 45, I built my 23,000th dirt job, not hundreds, but thousandth. Digging, 30 basements a week, 40 someday, and all custom builders. We did a little bit of track homes, not much, but did all the waters, sewers, all the backfills. We'd rent about sometimes 60 dump trucks a day. We had about 13 of our own running all the time to keep busy, and we do light commercial, so it got into a lot of stuff. We'd run 5 low boys every day and 3 tank trailers to move equipment around. Became very, very successful at it. In the Obama crisis, I call it, about when they started paying our guys to go home and not work, I started sweating having labor. We were smart enough to start doing commercial work, and I told my guys, the company will work for zero profit. We'll get all the work. We're very good at our numbers. We got busy, but my guys started getting paid to stay home. And it really kind of hurts the spirit when you got a family that you can't get them to go home after 12 hours a day. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a lot. So I started on a quest as the Obama crisis came in. Sorry if you guys take the politics wrong, don't. But the housing was zero. People are going bankrupt everywhere. Anybody owed you money, you better hope you got it. And so I started building a company called IDigBest. I started as excavating solutions, and then as I worked, I started going to Europe and finding software and stuff like that. And TopCon had a company that built a dig system, and I was one of their test pilots. They had a bunch of them out there. And it was before its time. It was really unique, but it didn't work, and they got out of it. That was several years before I started, maybe 10, 12 years. I set off to start doing it. I learned a million lessons I've always been a programmer, a hydraulics guy, a fabber. And I learned a million lessons on how to make sensors work and how to write C++ and, all the stuff. So about 2013, I started patenting things like gyroscopes, like aircraft and missiles used for the excavators, and got that figured out with some companies. And we could put a sensor on an excavator, and you could tell where the end of a jackhammer was. It's so accurate.
Nice.
That gave me the ability then to patent and build special valving to help the operator stay on grade, stay on slope, stay on anything. And that's what IDigBest is, and been selling them since about 2013. The system works phenomenal.
So what was it that actually inspired you yourself to create IDigBest?
We just had such a problem with labor. I knew that labor was not going to be a thing anymore. I knew it, and I knew that was going to kill my bottom line no matter what. So I set out to build replacement labor, basically, and that's the ground labor, not the operator. So an operator Most of my best clients are small companies and they've got an operator and they don't have any labor and they're great operators, but this system takes all the stress out of them. And if they got to teach a new operator, they can have a guy learning down the hole, whatever. They can put them in the machine. They say they go get lunch and you can set up certain features on the system. We just started adding AI to it actually because my son's learned how to dig. So we've been doing a lot more programming. But you could teach the younger generation, which is I call them Ataris. You can date my age, but the they they're gamers. They understand it more. They understand computers more. They're more comfortable. The older generation wasn't. So I had to write software that was all visual. And if you hated an iPhone, you had to love me. That was the goal. But yeah, a lot. But it makes the efficiency. Machine control is where I've always made all my money through
Mhm.
time. So laser dozers were unbelievable in the old days.
And so, what challenges did you face early on in the early stages of creating IDigBest? And
Um,
can you kind of
I,
share how you overcame those?
yeah, actually, um, the president of Leica Corporation. I was in Germany. I started going. They've always had more labor problems than us, so they're always ahead of us in concrete pumps and machines getting around and solving labor problems because they can't afford anybody there the way the socialism works. So I started going over there and saw they had visual dig systems that worked okay, and there's little things out, but to make the machine control, I kept going there, and somehow I ran into the president of Leica. He liked the idea. He met me at 2010, I think it was, or 11. He met me at ConAg, what they call it a little different now. It comes every 3 years in Vegas. And he set me with another company that could help me build the software, and they jumped in. They're incredible company. They're out of Italy, but still wouldn't work. Tried for 2 more years pulling her hair out, and I finally found the right sensors. And they were in the patents I was building already. I thought I could do gyroscopes myself, but obviously I couldn't. So I got lucky and found these guys that they build the kind of sensors you put in the Tomahawk missiles, if you can imagine.
Wow.
So you see, yeah. So the system is the only system real time, and my clients, I work with every one of them. People think it's crazy, but it's so simple the way it works. Once you get a handoff on it, you can manage it yourself.
Now you mentioned it works in real time. How can you explain a little how IDigBest, the system, differs from traditional excavator systems?
Oh yeah, and the ones that are competition now. Actually, there's a company out there called IDig, and they're out of France. People get us mixed up a lot, but they have massive latency.
Hmm.
Actually, I just learned they put a gyro in a new system called something, but they're getting a little faster, but they're over half a second to a second. So when you're digging, the Leica systems, all of them, they have such latency that the lights aren't telling you the truth till you stop, and then they're close. My system is 9 axes. They are 4 or 5 at the most. So we can measure in 3D without satellites. So if you slap the bucket on the ground, if you call that zero and you pick it up, smack it as quick as you can, the LED lights come on instantly. There's no delay. So
Hmm.
it's within a hundredth of a foot, within a hundredth of a second, all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've got this technology. I want to say it's called the triple gyro bucket sensor. Is that right? Did I say that
Yeah.
right?
There's
How does that enhance operations then?
so they use accelerometers, gyros, and they're on micro scales, and so it knows yaw, pitch, roll, and rotation. So I tell people it's a 3D system, and a lot of guys will get on there and say, "Oh no, it's not 3D. It doesn't use satellites." I said, "No, it measures X, Y, and Z, and that's why it's so accurate." So with this system, we're the only guys that really do backhoes, gradals, or the swing on a mini excavator. They got swings, and none of the other companies attached to that swing. So they can't really give you an accurate answer, anyways. Ours, you could flip the machine upside down; it's still going to tell you where the end of the bucket is. I mean, within just, I mean, you can't measure it. It's so small. Uh,
Nice.
so and that's what gives us the ability to use the hydraulics to help the operator.
Now there's another feature, X-ray vision. Is that
Yeah.
how does that improve safety on excavation sites?
Well, X-ray vision, I wrote for a company. I'm not gonna say their name, but they paid me a lot of money to write it for them.
Mm.
And it was for they're going to do a nuclear work around nuclear power plant. They had to have another form of safety. So X-ray vision works off math, and you have to have sensors like I got to get the math to do it. So by law, let's say we're going to dig up a gas line or anything, you've got a pot to it, or you got to dig it up yourself, sewer probe it if you're doing a field tile, whatever your safety level is, but you're supposed to do that. And then 90% of the world, you're not allowed to dig within 2 foot with a bucket of a machine. You go out there and locate that, and I'll just tell you how a farmer does it. I'm gonna make it simple. Takes a sewer probe, pushes down, hits the top of the 4-inch tile, and pulls it out. And let's say it's 42 inches and a half deep. X-ray vision, you just type in 42 and a half, or you write it on the stake right there by the ground. You touch it with your bucket, tell it 42 and a half what size pipe it is. So if it's a 4-inch field tile, you say it's a 5-inch diameter pipe,
Mm.
and it will draw the pipe exactly. You can set what distance you want from the bucket. That's the back of the bucket, the hook on everything. You can say, I don't want you to get within 2 inches. And the only way you'll get within 2 inches is if you throw the machine at it. But it'll stop you digging. Like, I tell everybody, I think law is 2 feet, but I always set mine up for about 3 inches.
Mm.
And you just dig right along, it will stop you. And it will stop you. You'll see what it is, put alarms off. It'll force you to go around it when you're going under it. It won't let you dig into it. And you can also see if you're laying a pipe, you can see that pipe, the grade, to see if you can make it underneath it. So it's it's so accurate. For the first 6 times you use it, you'll be jumping down in there and measuring from the power line to the end of the teeth or the back of the bucket, and it will always be within a half inch. It's amazing. So it's free with the system.
Very nice. How does IDigBest help operators to reduce their costs and improve efficiency?
Everything is based on, with a good operator. I mean, you got to know where to throw your dirt. You got to know where to start your hole or your dig or your job. But everything is based on cycle time. So basements is a good one, or footers is a good example, or even laying pipe, or storm pipe and everything. But just to go into digging like a basement, you can say, hey, I want to be at, and you got memories in it too. So in this state, and everybody's a little bit different, but it's still the same. If you're doing 9-foot walls in a basement, it might be 7 up from the bottom for the uppers. It might be 9 up for the subgrade of the garage floor. And you put those memories in. Maybe it's 10-foot walls, maybe it's 8-foot walls. And you go out and you can just go out there and touch the curb. And let's say you know what the top of wall is above that, or you can go and touch both side yards, whatever you want to do with your excavator. And you can tell it the offset, and you just dig right down to it, and there's grade. And basements are level, so you'll keep it on horizontal dig, level. And as you dig down to the grade, we spend a lot of time, the last 4 strokes to get the grade, by raking and I call it rototilling, but by raking down to grade, get closer. And I always taught all my operators, you dig 4 foot and then up, 4 foot grade, then up. Then you can't make a long mistake because you're not supposed to fill dirt back in. No, we don't, but it happens. Is what it does is you set the bucket down flat, because an excavator, humans can't run it correctly. We got to stick the teeth straight up and down to dig, because we can't see the teeth in the ground. Call it flat bucketing. So you wouldn't take a loader or a skid steer, ever stick the teeth up in there and try to cut grade. It'd be ridiculous. So you can imagine how inefficient an excavator really is with a human operator. So when you get down within, say, a basement, get down within 2 foot, you set your bucket on grade, because you just kind of work your way out of the corner or wherever you're going to, and you just pull, and it loads the bucket up instantly. So you've saved 4 strokes, and you've heaped the bucket, and it's out, and you back up and you do it again and again, and it's on grade. It's digging flat on grade. There is no crumbs. It is as good as the ground can get. And you can see a lot of our videos how that works.
Very
Same with
nice.
footings. Yeah, it's same with footings. It'll dig so slick. People go, "You're going to wear out the bottom of the bucket." I said, "Well, that would be like telling people with loaders not to set the bucket down flat and dig. That doesn't make any sense. The bucket's most efficient with the teeth pointing towards where it digs."
So, what role does customer feedback of IDigBest play in your product development and how you do these updates for this?
All software with IDigBest is free upgrades. All help is free for 10 years, probably longer than that, really. Everything's military spec, so I do software updates constantly, and so you can update anytime you want. You never have to, but it's we give you a memory stick, and you just get online and put it in there. It might have the new GPS stuff we're working on. It might have the new AI stuff we're working on. It might have post hole drilling or pile driving, or there's all kinds of stuff we do. So also the customers, if they're doing something different, so like I put a software that for all the field tile guys and the guys on job sites where you got plans, like say you're doing a McDonald's, something simple, or a Walmart, you can touch the bench, put in the elevation of the world, the vertical elevation, and it will tell you anywhere on the job site you go. You just wave through the laser, go down, tell you the manhole is supposed to be right here, or if you're setting the top of manholes, you can hold up and say, "Oh, well, it's 2 foot low. Oh, we need 2 foot of rings." But you can work on the whole site like you have GPS.
Very
So
nice.
those are nice upgrades if you know what I'm saying. But it's all free.
So, how has IDigBest changed the way contractors approach their excavation projects?
Well, so like I said, the big guys that use the Trimble top gun, those are great systems. They're the best. I mean, for if I was going to do a highway or a whole Walmart, or, a subdivision, that's what those guys are set for. But the small guy, small and medium guy, has no way to get labor. So I run these guys are the best diggers in the world. They're in their 50s, 60s, late 40s. They can't get any help. They got their wife running out helping them every once in a while, because when you don't need labor and it's raining, you can just leave the cab shut and you can just go dig. You got it has cameras on, so you can see in the back of the truck, so you don't have to get out. It digs so perfect as you get used to it. And it measures for you in every direction, square and everything from the world. So I constantly add things to it. If anybody has any ideas, I keep adding to it. How to make it so the operator can just work, be on the phone. I mean, it's all done by lights out by the bucket, so you don't have to focus or hear sounds beeping at you all day. Sound's not quick enough for our system, so we recommend don't even use it. I mean, unless you're digging a pond. But there's
So,
a pretty inland.
what do you think the future of machine control like this in the excavation industry looks like?
Truthfully, if you don't have a dig system of some kind, I mean, I'll even advertise for the worst ones, you're crazy. If you're digging accurate. Now, hey, if you're taking down trees and pulling stumps and digging ponds close and grading yards where you do it by eye, I'm not saying that. But if you get to grading something, you need a swale at 1% slope, or you need a cut, swale in your, I always say McDonald's, because little short parking lots that have big dips in them because the ponds are in the thing. If you want to work with that, you can just sit there and start the manhole and set your slope and dig. You can do all these things, dig the curbs, you can dig all that stuff and measure more accurately than you can measure with a tape measure. I mean, if any kind of slopes there, it's way more accurate. If you want to set a septic system, you put all your fingers in the memory. You can set the septic tank and not even have a laser. You can go out and touch the hole, the invert of the hole coming out of the side of the house. You can dig exactly 10.5 foot away from the house so that the tank's not within 10 feet. You can look at the inlet of the tank and you'd say, let's say it's 64 inches down. You just tell it 64, dig down, dig the bottom of your tank, exactly 10 foot, 6 foot wide, whatever. Come back up, touch and say, okay, it's 60 inches for the outlet. You never even used the laser. If you're on a job and your laser runs out of batteries, which it's good to use a laser. It's got a laser receiver on it. But you can finish the job without the laser, without any problem.
Very cool. Now, I thought it would be kind of fun here. We've got one of your clients that we can bring in and they can kind of share their experience of
Okay,
using IDigBest and we can kind of hear their story. Would that be all right?
definitely.
Okay, cool. So this is Matt Hiskies. Hopefully, I'm saying his name right. And let me go ahead and unmute you, Matt. I see he joined. He is here. It's official.
No, Matt, he's out there in a machine.
Hey, Matt, can you hear us?
Yeah, we're trying to get it all out here. Hold on one second.
I hear you loud and clear. I just can't see you.
There we go.
We have visual.
What's going on, boys?
Awesome. So I wanted to bring you on, Matt, because you actually use this technology. And so a firsthand account would be really cool. Would you mind kind of sharing your experience and I can ask you some questions about how this works?
Yeah, it's been about 7, 8 years now. I think I've had it since almost the beginning.
Not to cut you off, can you first give us a little background, who you are, what you do, your company, and so on?
Oh yeah, I grew up a garbage man actually, running equipment for my family, and I just decided to jump out of that, do my own thing, started excavating. Got into it, got moving and shaking, got a lot of work real quick, and needed to go a lot faster. So
Cool.
ended up getting into this with Phil. I don't even remember where I found him, but started talking to him. We started getting systems and rocking and rolling, and it's been incredible ever since. We're flying. No
Nice.
grade guys, machines doing their own thing.
So what challenges were you facing with your excavation business before using the IDigBest system?
Well, when I started, I had a really good operator that was working for me, kind of showing me how to get into it. Like I said, I was just a garbage man, so we were figuring that out. And he was very expensive, and I had him in the hole every day. I'd run the hole, and he'd be running grade down to the bottom, and he was super expensive. And I said, man, I got to figure out a way to keep him in a machine making me money instead of costing me a bunch of money and sitting in the bottom. You try to train 2 or 3 guys, they're useless. You can't. It's hard to teach somebody that has been doing it forever. So we switched into searching for grade control and tried a few of my buddies' things, and none of it was really worth it. I was like, yeah, well, let's just keep doing what we're doing. And I found IDigBest. It's fast enough to keep up with me, so away we went.
Awesome. Now, what kind of specific problems did you encounter with, say, accuracy, your efficiency, or costs before implementing this system?
Well, yeah, you shop around and everything is super expensive. And, I was talking to Phil and he's like, listen, it ain't really that expensive. I'm not like the other guys, blah, blah, blah. And, he's selling me, obviously. It's okay. We'll listen. We'll hear it out. And started going through the system, and he just kept saying, you're not understanding. It's in real time. You don't have to slow down. You do not have to worry about it. You just go, and it's telling you what you're doing the entire time. And, so I gave it a shot. I went with him. We got it all put together. He came up. I answer my phone calls every 5 minutes. When we're first starting out, it's tough to figure out all the tech and stuff. But once I got rolling, it really does. I mean, I dig fast, but just we're here to move yards of dirt. So, and now I can cut. I can stay on grade all day, and the thing just flies.
Very nice. So it improved efficiency. You're a lot faster. You can do more jobs because of that.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, I mean, the bucket's the size of the bucket. It's going to go as fast as it can, but I don't have to slow down and see where I'm at, digging wise. It'll just cut it flat for me, rock and roll. As long as you're good at, knowing where to put the dirt. Everything else, as far as cutting grade, is perfect. But the bigger thing is I got all my other guys working on other things all the time. I got multiple jobs going. I got, the trucks, the drivers can stay in the trucks, the operators can stay in their machines, and I don't have to think about where they're at and what they're doing.
What was your first impression of using IDigBest?
I couldn't believe it was real, to be honest with you. I mean, it's wild to watch what you're doing in real time with all your numbers right next to you. You know, you grow up, you've been so used to jumping down in the hole, getting a grade stick, listening to the beat, blah, 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 all the fun things, you know, that we go through. And then pretty soon, all of a sudden, you're digging in golf shorts and tennis shoes because you ain't got to get out in the mud no more. You just start digging and go.
I think I'm gonna hire him for a salesman now. Shit.
Well,
everybody still talks about how I'm always in golf clothes all year round. I'm like, hey, listen, guys, I don't get out of the mud. I don't do, you know what I mean? I don't have to run around in the hole. I don't have to check this or check that. Play it out for about 10 minutes, get in the machine, and start going. As long as you set that laser up first thing in the morning, you're good to go all day.
now you starting out, you never used one of these systems before. That's correct?
Yeah, no.
How easy or difficult was it for you to integrate this IDigBest into your workflow?
It actually was pretty good. I had a lot of, you know, trying to figure out where to run wires and get all the hoses and all the stuff. Once you get it all on, I mean, Phil came up and ran me through it, for 2 hours, I think. We kind of trained on it, figured it out. And then I just, you know, if I got questions, I call him. Back then, I call him a lot more than I do now. I kind of got it under control now. I've had it for a long time. But, yeah. Plus, he's always tweaking. So, I mean, you're always, you know, hey, Phil, let's try this. Oh, yeah, give me a minute. And we change directions, whatever we got to do, just to make it better all the time. Nice. But it's so, once you get rolling and get the principle of how it actually, you know, how it's supposed to work, you just end up going that direction without even thinking.
How long did it take you to actually start feeling like comfortable with it, using it?
I'd probably say third or fourth basement, you know, because you're second guessing yourself. You don't believe that it's correct, right? So like you're digging, and I would dig for 2-3 hours, and of course I'm getting down in the basement checking it with a stick. My first couple holes, I don't trust it, right? And you can't believe, you're looking at it thinking there's no way this thing is doing what it's telling me, and then you get down there and check it, and things absolutely perfect. It's a little embarrassing.
Nice. Can you share, I mean, that's one example. Can you share another example where IDigBest saved you time, money, or manpower?
So the coolest thing I figured out, actually, and I remember I'm not on a job right now, and it was actually on a job for this customer. I was doing a giant house in a subdivision. It was a walkout. It was real steep, straight off the curb, straight down the hill. I think I had 11 different steps in the footings. So I literally just kept every time I changed, drop another foot, drop another foot, drop another foot. You're chasing good ground. And I never had to get out once. As long as the thing could see that laser, we were good. I never had to get out. It's not a bunch of math. I'm not, you know, refiguring. Just drop another foot, save all your benchmarks, and away you go. Everything just kind of works off of zero.
Nice. So how has IDigBest reduced the need for additional labor?
I actually don't even really have a lot of labor anymore. I mean, my drivers shovel my tracks other than that. But before they move stuff, I don't even really need labor on site anymore. To be honest with you, I don't have a grade guy. I put all the dirt where I needed to go with the machine. We try and do everything with machines. Yeah, you just don't have a guy that's, you know, running around with a paint can trying to check and take some out here and do this, whatever. It's just, you just don't have a guy. And then you don't have to count on him understanding what you're saying through a windshield because he can't hear you. So you're not waving. I mean, you don't need it. Mm-hmm. You just set this up and go.
Would you say IDigBest gives you an edge over your competitors?
100%.
So, how?
I'm the guy that when you say I want to build a house and you have a concrete guy, I'm the guy. The concrete guy says no, use that guy because he makes our life wait.
Cool.
It just works out.
So, have your clients or maybe GCs that you partner with noticed the difference in your work since you started implementing IDigBest?
Yeah, oh yeah, because even it all comes down to the concrete guys, right? We're digging in the dirt, they're putting concrete in it, we're filling it back in. So they are going to be the ones to know. But every time they do a house, nobody's ordering extra concrete. There's not an extra 2 loads of stone because you went too deep for a mile. Just everything stays right where it's supposed to. So when you figure it, if you cut it that way, All your material works out good. You're saving money on that end. Their concrete guys are earning out way faster because everything's flat, so they're not fighting or to set up footings, to do all that stuff. It helps them quite a bit. Plus, you're cutting flat buckets, so there's no crumbs at the bottom. It doesn't all turn to buck, and they're not slipping and sliding in the basement. Everything's just
Cool. So if you were talking to another excavation contractor, how would you describe the benefits of IDigBest?
I still got you guys.
Oh, there you go.
I hear you now. Did you hear my
There we
question
go.
though?
We're back.
Can you hear me?
All right, well, I got you. What was the question?
Well, I was asking if you were talking with another excavation contractor, how would you describe the benefits of IDigBest?
Well, number one overall is the labor, but I mean the efficiency and the quality of your work once you get rocking and rolling. I mean, just the quality of work in general is unbelievable. You can turn out such a good product, and and you're a guy or two short on every job. You can do more than one at a time. You can just keep everybody moving.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to someone who is hesitant in investing in this technology?
Oh, he'll 3 basements it'll take you to save the time and energy that you put into doing it the old way.
Hmm.
It doesn't take a long time at all. It's an absolute game changer. Just the fact that the guys you would normally have with you every day can go to it. They're doing a backfill. They're doing a great job. They're doing whatever else you got for them to do. All the other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your excavator can just be your excavator. And if all the dirt stays on site, you're there by yourself. Your whole crew can go somewhere else. Just that alone, you're making twice the money every day.
So would you recommend IDigBest to other excavation companies?
Every time. Been recommending it for 8 years now.
Awesome. So if you could sum up your experience with the IDigBest system in just one sentence, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say I'm where I'm at in my business right now because of IDigBest. To be honest, I think so. Because I wouldn't keep the custom work that I have without being able to do it better than everybody else. So yeah, I would say it's given me a chance to get to where I'm at now, where it's easy to do the hard stuff.
Cool. Anything else at all you'd like to add about your experience using IDigBest technology?
Well, I can't wait to see what's coming. I think we got more coming down the pipeline. It's a lot of fun, picking Phil's brain and trying to get him to do more cool stuff for us. But I'm excited to keep going, put it on more machines, get more guys running.
Very cool. Matt, thank you so much for your time and coming on. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good day, guys.
Yep.
Thanks,
Take
Matt.
care.
Appreciate it.
That's it.
Phil, can you hang back a little bit? I got a couple more questions for you, sir.
You bet.
So that was pretty insightful to hear his, impressions and how he's using it. That's cool. So what has been the most rewarding part of your journey with IDigBest?
I love my job. I always loved excavating. I get my son back into it now. That's kind of a fun thing. I've always had the ability to build things and work on stuff. And we're building GPS right now. I built it back in 2014, but it was so expensive. But the most rewarding thing is like right now, Joey, he's 17. He started when he was 16. Took him out of school. He's doing online school in Indiana. They do that. It's great. I mean, it's the same transcripts and everything. He works an hour at school a day, and he's out digging footers. He's on his maybe 10th footing job for track homes, which is very hard to dig. It's just rush going on. And he hasn't messed one up yet. He's got the dig system running, and he wasn't anywhere of a great digger. I mean, you don't learn how to dig till you get real-time experience. But I've been working with him, and when you can't dig too deep and you can figure out how to line up, he's doing great. I mean, I cannot ever imagine guys not complaining at you at first when you dig footers, when you're digging against guys that dig 2 houses, 3 houses a day, and they're 100 mile an hour. I mean, they're almost crazy. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
and so I've been writing new software. That's the rewarding thing for him. I called IA, AI. I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
I started making different levels because I'm watching him out there. And I'm going, I can add this and make his job safer that he's going to do a good job. And then so I've been adding all different kinds of modes of digging for different people, different experiences. Um, I'm building new GPS so you can just walk out and lay it out. I'm doing the first layouts with that down to a price where everybody's got to have it because it's so cheap now. In the old days, it was 60,000. Now it's 8,000 for base station and that. And he can see it on the screen. Everybody doesn't have that yet. Matt, and all of them will get it later on, but he can see when his boom clicks in line with the back of the boom and where the bucket is to the line exactly where he's digging. He could lose his lines, everything. It's going to tell him where he's at. So sort of small jobs. It's all meant for the little guy. And yeah, I just love working on it. That's all. That's all I can tell you.
Cool. So if you could go back to the beginning of this journey, is there anything you would do differently?
No, but it took a long time. There's nothing. When I started it, I mean, I used to go to shows in 2012. I started showing stuff off in the world of concrete about 2011, and just got back from the show. And people go, is this real? I mean, all the time. I still have phone calls and people just, what do you mean it digs? I said, no, it's not just to indicate it. Actually has hydraulics to assist you. And everybody's got to get the point. I patented the valve so they feel your hands, how fast you want to dig, how fast it makes correction. It's not like a bulldozer where you get on it and you got your GPS or your laser grade, and you've got to go a certain speed so it stays at the right. If you go too fast, you get a sine wave, they call it, because it can't keep up. You go too slow, it chatters. But the IDigBest system, it feels how fast you're digging because those speeds change constantly with an excavator because of the relief valves. It's like slipping a clutch all the time. Otherwise, the truck would die on the hill. It's like having an automatic, the
Mm-hmm.
hydraulics on an excavator, and it's full blast. There's no system out there. Cat's got a kind of a system, and Trimble and them have some stuff. Way more cost. Accuracy's not quite there. It's fun to put one of these on a cat system and watch their system just lag. The
Mm-hmm.
speed's incredible.
So what motivates you to keep innovating in this space?
I just love it. I've probably patented 28 things. I just made a new patent to make all laser grading systems run on GPS. Just add it to a laser grader, and now you're 3D. Just patents on blades, patents on different buckets. Just it's like you're on top of a wave, and you can see everything everybody needs. And the electronics are getting so good, and the machines. It's just I just love it. I'm addicted to it.
So what's next for IDigBest? Are there any new products or updates in the pipeline?
Yeah, right now I'm putting in. I got this program, and everybody's free to use. It's called Plan Builder. If you go to the IDigBest website, IDigBest.com, you can click on Plan Builder. Plan Builder, you can take a picture of a print, or you can take a PDF and screenshot it, and you can just trace it right on into the files. It'll make prints for you. It'll give you every angle measurement. It does everything you always wanted. It works on phones, tablets, computers, Apple. It doesn't matter. But it's built for GPS, and got a new GPS system that my sensor guys actually are building, and the sensor guys are amazing. I mean, they're like from NASA and everywhere. These guys are just crazy. I mean, I love them. And we're building a system so cost efficient, so easy to use that you'll go out and just lay out your stuff by just you trace it. You can lay it out anywhere in the world. You can put in 500 foundations and just grab whatever one you want, stick it on there, snap the pins, and then the guys in the hoe can see it. And you're talking about $10,000 to make your excavator GPS and everything in the world. So not made to do a highway, or gigantic subdivision, but for the small guy, does each one of his jobs any ways he wants. So that's what I'm working on right now. It's a lot of we're doing layouts tonight. I'm just showing companies.
Nice. So, how do you see technology like this, like you're shaping the excavation and construction industries over the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, people have the wrong idea. They think that excavators are going to run themselves the next 10 years, and they're not. I mean, some will, like a CNC. You have to build an exact model on the earth, like a CNC, and you'll cut it out, and nothing could change. Like, a dump truck can't come in the wrong place, or dirt can't roll in the hole, or people can't. It's still computers and technology to be cost efficient isn't going to be there for quite a while. So assist is the deal, and the future is just assisting the operators because the humans have so many. God, they got feel. It's like a race car driver. There's no robot that can beat you at the Indy 500. I hate to tell you, because you can't put that much information in it. We haven't created feel, and they talk about AI, and AI is kind of just a big fake thing right now, guys. Hate to tell you, because when AI works, it'll get mad at you and it'll cry. Until then, it's just looking up a big thesaurus of which it's great. I love it. I mean, I'm the worst speller in the world, man. It rewrites stuff for me. It makes me look ingenious. It's amazing. But future is just replacing labor. I mean,
Hmm.
where it started in different areas in the world have no labor, and they're the areas that just keep buying with us. So there's a long run there.
Do you see opportunities for IDigBest technology in industries outside of excavation?
Um, the remote field, I mean, it's still excavating, but underwater. I got some machines that go 2 kilometers deep in the ocean, but um, remote control for hazardous areas. When you put a dig system like mine on there, you can actually grade with an autonomous robot and do it visually. And you can watch it on a screen and watch it on a 2D screen. And you don't have to have a good operator has what I call a gyro in his ass. I mean, he can feel the way the dozer's going. And the way the system is with the gyros, it'll correct for you and you can visually tell that it's on grade. You can't visually grade anything. You've got to feel it in the real world. So
Hmm.
that's just more autonomous. The IDigBest will get with more autonomous stuff and save more labor. So someday I think you'll hire operators on the internet, and whoever the best operators, he'll be running autonomous vehicles, kind of remote,
Hmm.
and he can work all day, and the higher rating you are, you'll get your job. That's the way I see it someday. So
Hmm.
I'm just going to work towards that.
So, what should potential customers know about IDigBest that they may not know already?
The biggest worries I get are companies are taught to sell against me. Trimble has videos. I'm in a lot of them. It's all good. Um, and I actually talked to a guy the other day because I was trying to find out some information. He started selling me on the another system, and he goes, "Oh yeah, IDigBest is no good. Oh, it doesn't really work. Or why would a good operator need a grade assist?" Well, let me tell you, laser screeds, that's called grade assist. Uh, uh, level best and all those machines that go out and do automatic level lasers, that's assist. All these things, this automation is so good. If you're not getting into it and you think you're so good that you don't need it, that's fine. That's your limit. But
Hmm.
airplanes have been flying by themselves since the 50s. I mean, I know we had a crash the other day, but there's not very many of them. And it's I don't see being an operator myself and owning a company. I don't mean to say this a better way, but you're out of your mind if you don't have a good dig system. And if it can run automatics at a good price, you're just limiting yourself. That's all.
For sure. Awesome. Phil, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Absolute
appreciate the time.
pleasure to have you on the show. This was awesome. So, folks, by the way, people that are interested, where can they find you and so on?
Everything's online. I like to have less labor in my company too. I believe in replacement. It's IDigBest.com. My phone number's on there. You can call anytime. If I don't answer, call me again. I get a lot of training, a lot of stuff, but I help guys on Sunday because they got a job going on, whatever. I do all the help. I'm the inventor. There's not much help needed. I build videos for every time I find something I can't. I might send you a video, do whatever, but you just come find us right there. It's that easy. Just give me a call.
Very good. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. Awesome having you on the show. And folks, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. This has been Scott from the Excavation Profits Podcast. Thanks and goodbye for now.
Hey there, excavation pros. If you enjoyed today's podcast, make sure to like and subscribe to our podcast and channel. Leave us your feedback and let us know how we did. And hey, if you're interested in taking your excavation or septic business to the next level online, make sure you visit excavationmarketingpros.com today and take advantage of our free resources and mastermind group for excavation and septic industry professionals.